Live from James Cotter Field in Boston, Massachusetts, it's time now for some Little East Conference women's soccer. As today, the UMass Boston Beacons, with their 5-2-2 record, take on the University of Southern Maine Huskies, who come in at 5-1-2. Joe Weil with you, joined by former UMass Boston soccer great Calvin Smick. Always great to be with Calvin. We had a chance to work a game 16 days ago. That was a victory for UMass Boston against Salem State. They won 6-2. They actually won 2 after that, Calvin, but they have not won over their last 3 matches.
Right, deceivingly leading their last game against Plymouth State 27-9 in the shot advantage. They went to overtime and weren't able to pull ahead in that one. So it's let's see if we can have a good performance tonight from the Beacons to put themselves back on track before the conference tournament.
A little bit of symmetry on both sides here. Both teams have 5 victories, but also both teams have not won over their last 3 matches. And you look at UMass Boston's side, 2 losses and a tie. You go over to the Huskies, a loss and 2 ties. So just like the Beacons, they have not won over their last 3 matches.
Yeah, 2 winning teams with a couple lulls in their schedule. It's going to be important to do the little things right today to get back on track for both sides.
A little bit of background on the Huskies. They started the season with 5 consecutive victories. In fact, they were dominating opponents. They won their first match 5-0, then 3-1 in their second match. Then it was 5-0, 5-0, and then 3-2 before this 3-match stretch in which they have not picked up a victory. So the Huskies 5-1-2 overall, 0-1-1 in conference action. UMass Boston, who was picked as the preseason favorite after winning the Little East Conference 2 years ago, they're 1-0-1 in conference action, and hopefully they will be able to get back on the winning track and pick up a victory today against the Huskies. We'll get you the starting lineups right now for UMass Boston. In goal, of course, Maria Spilios, who's been phenomenal this year, 0.99 goal against average. And then here's the rest of the starting lineup for the Beacons. Amongst the defenders, you have Kelly McNeil, also Mary Jo Murphy, and then on top of that, Danny Anderson. The midfielders, you have Jackie Turner, Aaliyah Velez, and then also Cal Pitts. And then among the forwards, you have Grace McGettrick, along with Allie Crawford, who we will talk about in a moment, and then also Grace Oliver rounds out the starting lineup. But looking at Allie Crawford, she's tied for the program lead all time in assists. She got an assist in the last match. We'll see if she can get that mark tonight.
It's just a huge accomplishment for the program here and for Crawford. Just to have your name etched into the record books there, and to be tied is one thing, and to hopefully pull ahead moving forward tonight. We're going to need a good performance out of her just for the Beacons to get the win. So I'm sure she has it in the back of her mind here. But we'll see if she plays the same way as she always does, keeping her head up, looking for her teammates, and creating opportunities for the Beacons.
Crawford with 4 assists overall this season. Let's go over to the Huskies side. It'll be Bree Atwood in goal. The rest of the starting lineup looks like this: Alex Allen, Mia Sargent, Megan Galanti, and then Lakin Hink, followed by Kaya Gatchel, Sarah Lowell, Kiki Huntress, Sierra Berthume. That's a name we could be saying a lot, Calvin. She has scored 5 goals this season, along with 3 assists in 8 games played. And then rounding out the starting lineup, it's Emma Forgis and then Katie Lynch. The captains on this Huskies team, 3 of them in the starting lineup and 3 overall on the team: Alex Allen, along with Sierra Berthume and Katie Lynch. So it's a potent offense. Looking at the Huskies, overall this season, they're averaging 2.88 goals per game. I think the issue for them is that it hasn't translated into conference action, because they lost their first match in conference play 1-0, and then back-to-back 1-1 draws.
Right. See, other than their tough 3-2 win against University of New England, all of their matches have been blowouts. So I'd really like to see if Maine can, grit it through a tough game and really put the right foot forward moving into conference play on the weekend.
And a quick correction, only one of those draws was in conference action. That was against Eastern Connecticut State. They also tied against Wentworth Institute of Technology, but that was a non-conference matchup. The Huskies were picked to finish 6th in the preseason poll, so they didn't come in with the same pedigree as the Beacons. So you figure the Beacons, if you had to pick, obviously a favorite in this one, especially at home. And also you look at the overall dominance of UMass Boston here at home. They have an unbeaten streak at James Conner Field of 19 matches, which is pretty impressive. We'll see if that extends here tonight. Under a pitch black sky, great to be with you here on Little East Conference Network. We had some good magic in terms of play in front of us, Calvin, with that first game, a 6-2 victory against Salem State University, hoping it translates again today here in this match so the Beacons can go to 2-0-1 in conference action. At home this season, they're 2-0-2. The two losses this season for UMass Boston coming on the road. It was against Wheaton College and then Brandeis University. The one against Wheaton College, a 2-0 loss. For Brandeis, it was a 1-0 loss. So they've been dominant here, away a little bit more vulnerable. But the good thing about tonight, we're in Boston, Massachusetts. So it should be a little bit more favorable, at least coming into this matchup for the Beacons.
Yeah, the Beacons protecting a 19-game home unbeaten streak here at James Cotter Field in Boston, Mass. So we'll see if they can keep that rolling tonight. But I'll tell you, this Southern Maine team is going to be a tough obstacle for the Beacons.
Yeah, no doubt about it. With the scoring pedigree they come in with, the fact that they have some returners too, and that's always the key thing, is to have some veteran leadership. And you look at their roster, they have 3 captains that they can look to and obviously feel a lot of confidence in. And amongst the captains, 2 of which seniors, and Alex Allen, and then also Sierra Berthume, the huge scoring threat. What is interesting, though, she's got 5 goals. It actually isn't the most amongst the players on the Huskies. You have to look at Katrina Gould. She's the one that actually has the most goals on the team. 6 overall this season in 8 games played, 7 starts. Not getting the start tonight, so we'll see if that's an injury-related thing. Hopefully we get to see her play because she's obviously dynamic and among one of the better players in the conference. But you have the veteran leadership. Then you also have this sophomore forward from Maine who's been exceptional, and Katrina Gould. So it's another option that the Huskies have in terms of their attacking tonight.
Yeah, the number 21, Katrina Gould, would be really great to see in action. I was looking forward to this matchup, and I hope both teams are coming into it at full strength.
They're announcing the starters on the pitch here at James Conner Field. We got through them a little bit earlier, but should be a fun one tonight between these two conference foes. And University of Southern Maine led by Seth Benjamin. He's in his 4th year. He's actually an alum of the program. He was somebody that graduated from the University of Southern Maine in 2000. He led the Huskies to a record-setting season in 2018, and he was actually named the Little East Conference Coach of the Year. That season, they went 14-5-1 overall, 5-3 in conference action. They ended up losing in the semifinals of the conference tournament to Western Connecticut State. Still very impressive for a program outside of that. Hasn't had as much success. 2019, they were 8-10-1, 2-6-0 in conference play, and then 2017, 5-12 overall, 1-6 in conference play. But he does come in with a little bit of history of success under his belt, and you look at the overall record, some of the stats coming into this. Granted, as we talked about, not in conference play, but there's some championship or at least some winning DNA on this roster and also on the coaching staff.
Right, Seth Benjamin in his 4th season, really stepping up to the plate here this season. I think it could be a big breakout years for the Huskies coming in with 5 wins on the season already. A win against the Beacons tonight would not only be a huge a milestone for him, he would also break the 19-game unbeaten streak, which is just very impressive. And we'll like to see a good performance from the Huskies tonight on James Cotter Field.
One of these conference foes wants to do that. They want to end that unbeaten streak. They'd say it's gone too long. 19 games, that's long enough. We'll see if the Huskies can end up doing that tonight. Good crowd on hand here at James Conner Field. A little bit chillier than it has been for the early part of September and also the middle part, but we're getting toward that October time frame, and still obviously a great night for weather. I actually remember, Calvin, the last time we talked on the air and about weather and playing soccer, obviously you have great experience with that. You said it's actually nicer when it's a little bit chillier. And I remember the game we did 16 days ago, it was a little bit warmer outside, but you were like, no, I actually think the ideal playing temperature, little bit colder than what we experienced back then. So tonight actually might be among the best nights of the season to play.
Absolutely beautiful night here at James Cotter Field. It's everybody's in short sleeves, no Under Armour needed. It'd be a great night to kick the ball around for both teams and have a lot of fun back here after the season being canceled in 2020 due to the pandemic. This is a real glimpse of a fall New England night here.
The Beacons, of course, headed by Amy Zombeck, who's done a great job winning as coach in UMass Boston history, a Keene State 1999 grad, and we'll pause for the national anthem. Back here at James Cotter Field, no, that was not the shortest anthem of all time. We actually had some technical difficulties, so no anthem. We're just going to go on, play some soccer. And again, it's UMass Boston versus the University of Southern Maine. Joe Weil with you, Calvin Smick alongside. We appreciate you joining us on the LEC Network. Game number 10 of the season for the Beacons. They enter 5-2-2 overall. 1-0-1 in conference play, looking to establish and continue to establish the dominance that they have had in Little East Conference action. As I think we're still dealing with some technical difficulties here in the little scratch that's going over the airwaves.
Yeah, it sounds like a bad DJ, Joe.
Sounds like what it would sound like if I tried to DJ.
Oh, exactly. I don't even take in the aux cord at parties. I leave it to the professionals.
Both teams on the field getting set to play.
You got to wonder what's going on in that huddle between both teams here, knowing it's such a big game for both sides to get back on track in the right direction.
When you played, Calvin, was there an additional focus or a greater focus when you were playing in conference play?
There was. You could say you take each game, one game at a time, but knowing the importance of the conference games to solidify your future in the tournament, it's always lingering in the back of your mind.
Yeah, you figure that's a thing amongst all college programs, and it's probably something that they would never publicly admit when they're not playing. Because when you're an athlete, you want to try to treat every game the same, but we're all humans. The reality is when you know something's a little bit more important, there's a good chance that the majority of the players on the team are going to be a little bit more focused in. And so we'll see which team is more focused tonight. We're about to get things started. And it's going to be the University of Southern Maine to have the ball to start. UMass in their home white jerseys. Beacons logo in the top left corner, number on the back with the nameplate. And they're wearing white shorts. And the University of Southern Maine in their road dark blue jerseys, and we are underway. Good ball movement to start for the Huskies. Sarah Lowell handling it. Sending it forward. Katie Lynch now trying to get a pass off to a teammate. Was trying to set up an early opportunity for Sierra Berthume. And it's stopped by the Beacons. They'll try to bring it the other way. Grace Oliver handling it. Gets it to Allie Crawford, who, as we mentioned at the top, is tied now for the program lead all time in assists. This one's sent forward into harm's way. A possible opportunity early for the Huskies. This shot's wide, though. Maria Spilios didn't even have to really go for it, and it's still a 0-0 game, a minute in.
Wonderful pace about the Huskies play. Playing to feet. Everybody's moving off the ball. It's a really bright start.
That ball last touched by the Beacons, so it's going to be Huskies' ball to throw in. Comes into Forgis.
The Beacons looking like they're starting with 3 up top, really trying to put a lot of pressure on the back line of the Huskies tonight.
And it's going to go back the Beacons' way. Do you think they could possibly anticipate this being a shootout with how well the Huskies have done offensively?
As cliche as it is, Joe, I mean, goals change games. And if we can get a couple goals on both sides, it'll be interesting to see which team keeps the composure when going ahead or going behind.
Grace McGettrick gets a pass off to Aaliyah Velez. Velez making her 7th start of the year. Danny Anderson now with the pass to Oliver. She sends it forward, looking for Mary Jo Murphy, who enters with 6 goals this season. That's the best on the Beacons.
Mary Jo Murphy in excellent form right now, especially at home.
She's led the way for an offense that's averaging 2 goals a game. And an offside call going against the Beacons. So no score. We're a little over 2.5 minutes in. Once again, thanks for joining us on the LEC Network. Joe Weil with you. Calvin Smick alongside. Second to last match of September for UMass Boston. They'll play, I beg your pardon, the last match of September for UMass Boston. Their next game will be against Babson College on October 2nd, and that's on the road. But they'll have a 4-game stretch away from James Cotter Field, so you really want to take advantage of the opportunity to be home.
Right, you want to get the wins where you can here, and at James Cotter Field, they've proven that. And before a road stand, it's very good for your confidence as well.
A header that will go right into the hands of Spilios, who gobbles it up. The Beacons are averaging 1.11 goal against them this year. But Spilios has been great in net. Last year she earned Little East Conference second team honors. And amongst the best goalies again this year in the conference. This one's crossed into the box. Alex Allen doing a nice job getting it away. And that one sent wide of the net.
Just couldn't get over top of that one. You see what she's trying to do there, putting it back post. Just couldn't get over top of that one, and it drifts slightly over.
So it's going to be Bree Atwood to kick it away. Atwood actually enters with the best goal against average in the conference. She's only allowed 5 goals in 8 games played, 7 starts. And she's third in the conference in saves with 23. Grace Oliver going at it with Lakin Hink. This shot sent wide. That was Sierra Berthume, who we're going to expect to be shooting the ball a decent amount tonight with the 5 goals that she has. 51 shots overall this year.
She's in great form, and that was quite an ambitious effort. You're going to have to do really well to beat the keeper from there.
Mary Jo Murphy to throw it in on the near side. We're over 5 minutes into the first half. No score between UMass Boston and the University of Southern Maine. Danny Anderson will bring it, or trying to bring it across the half-court line. Gets it off to Cal Pitts. Allie Crawford with a pass back. Now it's Danny Anderson. She sends it forward to Cal Pitts. Now to the near side for Mary Jo Murphy. The always dangerous Mary Jo Murphy. Now to Grace McGettrick. McGettrick puts a shot on net, but it's caught on the fly by Atwood.
positive from the Beacons. Way to receive the ball from McGettrick, use her body to shield off the defender and get a shot away. Just didn't make the connection she was looking for, but great movement by the Beacons.
First shot of the night for UMass Boston on net. Overall, the numbers look like this. UMass Boston with 2 shots, 1 on goal. And then on the other side for the Huskies, 3 shots, 1 shot on goal. Aaliyah Velez has it taken away. The pass sent forward, and it will be kicked away by Danny Anderson. Kelly McNeil's pass forward stopped there. So it's Jackie Turner to throw it in. But it's turned over right away.
Southern Maine really pinning the Beacons in their own end here. Making it difficult for them to play out of the back like they really like to.
If you'd had to gauge it so far, it does appear as though the Huskies are not dominating possession, but they're controlling the tempo of the game so far. It's not by much, but I think it is a little bit so far in their favor.
I agree in terms of possession, but in terms of chances created, it looks pretty even for both squads. It'll be interesting to see, Joe, if any of these teams can get anything going on the counterattack. You know, once they win the ball, springing forward with intent, looking for their outside wingers to get beyond and go at their outside backs with intention here.
We only really saw that once so far tonight with that opportunity that was set up for Grace McGettrick. They swung the ball to the near side, and it was a good pass by Mary Jo Murphy to get it to McGettrick, who put a shot on net. It was an easy save for Atwood, but still an opportunity.
Advantage played by the referee.
So Grace Oliver bringing it forward. There's a shot into the box, and Atwood comes out of her regular positioning to grab it.
Atwood alert and attentive on that play. Does well to come off her line and gobble up any opportunities there for the Beacons.
Coming up on about 9 minutes gone by in the first half. Still no score between the University of Southern Maine and UMass Boston. Emma Forgis battling with Aaliyah Velez. Sent into the center circle. Kiki Huntress, the freshman from Kittery Point, Maine. She had it. Oh, that one got up on the face of Gatchell. Hopefully she's okay. Pass back to Spilios, back to Danny Anderson.
Joe, one thing I've noticed early is both teams are trying to play out of the back here, which is, the right way to play. But, you have to be on the same page, and, the one mistake could really cost you.
Well, and the pass back to Spilios looked a little bit more dangerous than it should have been.
It was. When she had time to, just turn on the ball and play out herself, did you realize she went right back and said, take this from me, please. Because as a goalie in that position, 18 yards out from your own frame, you're gonna want to play it safe there.
Huskies on the attack. Good job by Mary Jo Murphy to step forward. That was Berthume, who was really racing forward with the ball, but her momentum stopped, and ultimately it was in the possession of the Beacons after Mary Jo Murphy got a foot in there.
Joe, I think those two are going to be battling all night here. Mary Jo Murphy starting in a way deeper position than she normally does, and I think it has to do with the offensive threat of University of Southern Maine here.
Well, you have the senior back in Mary Jo Murphy, and then the senior forward in Berthume. There's a shot, and it's over the crossbar and out of play. So still no score between the Beacons and the Huskies.
See, it looks like both teams here, Joe, are just kind of feeling each other out. Nobody's taking a huge risk. Everybody's they're looking to see how each other are playing and where there's a chance to attack and where the space is on the field. It'd be really nice to see the Beacons to utilize some of the space and the width of the field.
This one's headed toward the net. Good job by Spilios to go out and grab that.
Grace Oliver is in acres of space over here on the left-hand side, and when she does get the ball, Mary Jo Murphy looks for the overlap almost every single time. Strong play from Keeley. Just very well done there from Keeley to hold off the defender and make a half chance into a whole chance there.
They didn't ever announce the substitution where Kelly got into the match. But she is in the match now for the Beacons. Here's the corner. And a nice job by Kiki Huntress to just get it out of harm's way. It's now going to be a throw-in opportunity for the Beacons. So once we figure out who is subbed out to get Kelly in, we'll let you know. Allie Crawford, one away from setting the program record for assists, passes it off to a teammate, and it's kicked away. Looks like that was Turner on the far side. 13 minutes in, no score between the Beacons and the Huskies. Grace Oliver to throw it into the near corner. Gets it to another Grace and Grace McGettrick. It's kicked away pretty quickly there by the Huskies. It trickles to Oliver. Oliver with a pass forward to Mary Jo Murphy, and her shot is through the uprights but not into the net. As much as we would like it to be 3-0 lead now for the Beacons, it's still a scoreless match.
Yes, this isn't football or cribbage here, Joe. We're going to have to keep it between the uprights and below the bar.
Not quite as impressive as Justin Turner's kick on Sunday, but still a nice one.
Absolute bomb from Justin Turner over the weekend. Extremely impressive, and you watch him do it in warm-ups, but to do it under that kind of pressure is just incredible.
Like and Hank had it taken away, but a whistle called against Mary Jo Murphy.
See, if the ref's going to call that one there, they're going to have to call everything. I disagree with that one from the official. He's been letting the girls play tonight, but I guess he has to keep everything in check.
This one stays in the possession of the Huskies. A throw-in from Gatchell. And she kicks it out of play, so it's going to go back the Beacons' way. Coming up on 15 minutes gone by of the first half. No score between the Beacons and the Huskies. After this match, the Beacons only have 2 more home matches. They play against Keene State on October 16th and then against Castleton University on October 30th. Good header forward by McGettrick, but it goes out of play. There is one former Castleton men's basketball coach that ended up becoming a head coach in the NBA. And I'll give you a hint. He coached for the Heat, the Magic, and the Pelicans.
Eric Spoelstra?
Nope.
That's the only one. That's the only coach I know for for the Heat and those other
His
teams.
brother is also a famous broadcaster now on ESPN. Good pass forward for Oliver. Oliver's shot is into the net, and the Beacons take a 1-0 lead. Grace Oliver with her second goal of the season, and the senior forward puts the Beacons on top here in the first half.
Just a lovely finish from Oliver. Just took her time, picked her spot, and executed to perfection. Just finds the lower side netting with a just easy stroke there. With acres of space Oliver had on the left-hand side, she just took a very calm and composed first touch, Joe, picked her head up, and just slotted the ball into the bottom corner.
Great work there by the Beacons to take the early edge. And now another possible opportunity, at least on the offensive side. Grace McGettrick with the lead pass to Allie Crawford, and it's a little too far ahead as it's gobbled up there by the goalie and Bree Atwood.
Oliver tucked that away like she was playing Sunday League with absolutely no pressure. Just excellent composure from number 2.
So Maggie Kelly awarded with the assist. That's her second assist of the season. And another freshman that's been very productive. The Paxton Mass native 2 assists now along with 3 goals in the season in Kelly.
Right, notching her 3rd goal last week here and another assist tonight. She's in great form at the best part of the season.
The answer to that trivia question, Stan Van Gundy.
Stan Van Gundy's a Castleton guy.
He coached at Castleton University.
Wow. I'm going to tell people that, Joe. Thank you.
Here's a corner from the Huskies. It's dangerous, but it goes over everybody's head and sails out of play on the near side. So it's going to be a throw in here for Spilios. I beg your pardon, she kicks it away.
Murphy again looking to go forward. Plays with such intent and direction.
The only reason I knew that, by the way, I did a doubleheader for the Beacons against Castleton University. And when you need to fill 18 innings of play-by-play by yourself, you look up everything you can possibly get on your hands in terms of info for both programs and their history. And that was one that was of interest to me as a basketball fan.
Oh, that's a great stat. And what a wonderful coach. He's had such a lovely career.
If you're just joining us now, UMass Boston with a 1-0 lead thanks to a goal from Grace Oliver that was assisted by Maggie Kelly. Mary Jo Murphy watches that one roll out of play. The Beacons now, with what they've done tonight, they're over the 200 shot mark on the season. 3 shots tonight, 2 of which on net. And a great early opportunity and goal for Grace Oliver to give the Beacons that 1-0 lead. Here's Bree Atwood to boot it away. And they did it against one of the best goalies so far statistically this season in the Little East Conference. Danny Anderson with a nice lead pass forward for Oliver, but it is intercepted. Good job there by Sarah Lowell to get a foot on it. The sophomore back out of Oakland, Maryland. Or Maine, rather. Kaylee Haynes subs into the game. Grace McGettrick comes out.
Kaylee Haynes with 4 goals on the season and an assist, so a total of 9 points. She's in great form coming off the bench tonight. What an asset to the Beacons coming off the bench.
Yeah, she recorded a goal against Salem State and then also Simmons. And then she had 2 goals against Eastern Connecticut.
I'm sure she'd love to be back on the score sheet tonight.
Over 20 minutes gone by in the first half. It's a 1-0 lead for the Beacons. On a slightly chilly night here in Boston, Massachusetts. Maggie Kelly with the pass forward. Kaylee Haynes now handling it. Back to Kelly. She boots it into the box, and it's headed outside of it. But intercepted by Oliver. Player down, but back up. That's Lakin Hink. And the Beacons now just trying to reset offensively. They passed it back toward the center line, but now back forward. Now a lead opportunity that's just out of the reach of Aaliyah Velez.
Velez just drifting behind that back line, and Murphy just looking to just slip her behind there. But on a night like tonight on this artificial turf, it's going to be really hard to get the pace of that ball correct. Just an ounce over hit that's going to drift into the keeper.
Yeah, a little bit too much oomph on the pass. The idea obviously was very smart. It could have led to another goal there, but it just had a little bit too much velocity on it moving forward toward Atwood, who was able to just come up and stop that chance.
Yeah, Velez off the ball is, I think, the best player off the ball for the Beacon. She's playing the traditional number 10 role behind the striker. She drifts into these great spaces, as you just saw. And I think she's just overall dangerous and a fantastic player.
We're officially halfway gone by in the first half. 1-0 this score, Beacons leading on a 60-degree night here in Boston, Massachusetts. And this weather will feel like July once December rolls around.
I think we get, 1 or 2 solid weeks of fall here in New England, and then it's 30 degrees.
We're enjoying it as they come. But you're exactly right. And a whistle going against the Huskies there.
Oh, that one hurts. When you land on top of the ball, it's awkward. Just a knock. She'll be able to shake it off.
Couple of substitutions for both teams. For UMass Boston, Caroline Bolt coming in, Cal Pitts out, Morgan Palma in, and Aaliyah Velez out of the match. Allie Vayu in the game now for the University of Southern Maine. Elise Porter also in. Lakin Hink out along with Katie Lynch. So those are the substitutions for both teams. Good forward pass. Haynes handling it. Goes out to Kelly. Kelly crosses it. Streaking forward is Oliver, and she can't quite handle it as it goes on top of the net. She was able to get to it at the end, but the shot ended up going a little bit too high.
Just absolute stunning move by the Beacons here. Just penetrating down the right, switching the ball, and then bringing the ball back across the face of the goal. Unlucky not to get a second there, Joe.
Here they come back with it, though. Shot forward and saved. Morgan Palma with that shot. And a whistle now going against the Beacons. Under 20 minutes left here in the first half. Still 1-0. Beacons on top thanks to the goal by Grace Oliver. Maggie Kelly now in that center circle. Pass to the far side. Kaylee Haynes tracking it down, stopping it before going out of play. But there's...
See, the ref tried to play an advantage there, and he's bringing it back for the foul that occurred earlier. Good refereeing there.
So back to the center circle it goes. And Danny Anderson to boot it away. She sends it forward.
Off the back of Velez there.
Now it's Mary Jo Murphy. Good lead pass there for Crawford. Crawford crosses it, and it goes into the net. And the Beacons now have a 2-0 lead. Morgan Palma sends it in. And for Allie Crawford, she sets the program record with the assist there to Palma. 32 career assists for Allie Crawford. Congratulations to the senior midfielder for a phenomenal career and another milestone tonight.
As you said it, Joe, just an amazing milestone. 32 assists. I'm sure she'll top that more this season. What an excellent player, and what an excellent assist to top off that record.
5 assists now on the season, 32 overall in the illustrious career of Allie Crawford, the senior from Kingston, Massachusetts, as Anderson gets it to Spilios, and that could have been a dangerous play, but it goes past the leg. That was Ali Veyu trying to get to that ball with her right leg, but it went past her. This ball is deflected out of play, and we'll see who it was out on, and they say it was the Huskies, so it's going to be a corner kick.
Important for the Beacons to lock here. With a 2-goal lead, easy to get lackadaisical, and here comes a set piece for the Huskies, and what a good opportunity.
Sierra Bethune with the corner kick. A couple players streaking forward, and it goes into the hands of Spilios. It was Kelly who was able to ricochet that ball to Spilios. She got her body in front of it. So what a fun start to the first half. 2 goals for the Beacons, 1 from Grace Oliver, and then the second one coming from Morgan Palma.
2 great goals for the Beacon and an assist for the record books here tonight, Joe.
On that second goal, a senior-to-senior connection between Palma and Crawford. 16:45 and counting left in the first half.
Joe, I think Palma could have scored with her first touch of the game here. And all credit to Palma and the coach and the coach Amy Zombach here, just making the adjustment and having immediate gratification.
Spilios coming out from net to get to that ball. She'll roll it out to the far side.
Beacon stifling the play out of the back right now, Joe. The game started off with a lot of space and a lot of freedom for them to play, and the Beacons have really tightened it up in that middle third.
How have they been able to do that, Calvin?
It looks like as soon as the other team, rough tackle there.
It's going to go back the Beacons' way.
And like I was saying, Joe, it starts with immediate pressure on the ball. When somebody receives the ball and they're constantly under pressure, it's going to be hard for them to have the composure to play out of the back. Beacon's playing a very high line as well.
It's going to be Danny Anderson to kick it, or to throw it in, rather. No, kick it. Had it right the first time.
Good dangerous ball. Dealt with well by the Huskies.
Checking on for UMass Boston, number 5, Sarah Gavin. Coming off, number 25, Allie Crawford.
So Allie Crawford comes out of the game as she goes to the bench as the all-time program leader in assists. She'll have a chance to sit on that for a little bit as Sarah Gavin comes in.
I'm sure the Gatorade tastes a little better right now for her.
And you wonder when that really does fully hit her.
Yeah, I wonder. I'm sure she had it in the back of her mind, before tonight's game. But obviously, as a player, it's not your number one priority to collect these individual accolades. But it's such a positive moment for her career and very well deserved.
Annalise Ortiz with the pass intended for Mary Jo Murphy, but it goes right through her legs. Looks like we'll have subs on both sides. Going out for the Beacons is Maggie Kelly. And
Checking on for Southern Maine, number 13, Gabrielle Martin. And for UMass Boston, number 7, Issa Andrade.
Issa Andrade coming in for the Beacons. Sierra Berthume out. Gabrielle Martin coming in for the Huskies. So one of the top scorers for the Huskies now out of the match temporarily. Gabrielle Martin, a freshman from Fort Kent, Maine.
You see there, Josie, the Huskies had a chance to counterattack, and the Beacons just swarmed their midfielders, not allowing them to break forward with any pace.
So it's Spilios to roll it away. If you're Amy Zumbeck, this is what you drew up for the first half. Obviously not completely perfect because it's hard to be completely perfect, but with the way that the Beacons have been able to dominate possession for the most part in the first half and also capitalize on opportunities, just something you love to see. Palma sends it forward. Goes into the box and out of it. Kaylee Haynes was trying to get a foot on it.
Yeah, to your point, Joe, I mean, as a coach or manager here for this Beacon side, you leave your opponents to only one shot on goal. Nothing super dangerous. You make an adjustment halfway through the first half, and Palma practically scores on her first touch. It's just a clinic here from the Beacons, but the great teams can put together a good 45, but it's the teams that really go far that can do it for a full 90, and this will be a great test for the Beacons and a great test for Southern Maine against some adversity here tonight.
Goes back the other way. The Huskies will throw it in.
I really don't see this Southern Maine team going away by any means. They're a good group with a core up front, and they're dangerous at all times. So the Beacons are really going to have to put together a full 90 minutes for this one.
The stats coming in are indicative of a team that does dominate opponents. 2.88 goals per game, 0.75 goals allowed per game, 21.1 shots on goal, shot on goal percentage of .550. That all being said, they've yet to win in conference play. It's only been 2 matches coming into tonight, but that's something that they will have to prove. Spilios gets in front of that one. Two-0 the score. Beacons leading here in the first half. It's already been an eventful match with the Beacons with the 2 goals. Allie Crawford setting the all-time record in Beacons program history with 32 assists. That was a great pass forward, but an even better job by the Huskies to get that out of harm's way. That was Kaya Gatchel getting her body in front of that one. That pass by the Beacons. Under 10 minutes left now here in the first half. Alex Allen. Huskies moving the ball nicely, but that last kick goes right to Danny Anderson, who will just send it away. And a slide tackle there.
Just beautiful play there by Palma again, just to hold the ball up, quick one-touch play with your back to goal, making it really easy on herself. Let's hope Ortiz is okay here.
Annalise Ortiz is the one that's down as the clock is stopped at 9:05 left here in the first half. And it looks like they're just calling for somebody to really take a look at her. She did hit the ground hard.
Looks like she's up on her own power now. It's great to see.
We'll see who subs in here for the Beacons, because it's, without a doubt, she's coming out of the match, at least for now. It looks like we may have a couple of substitutions.
Was that Billy Walker with the strong tackle here on the left-hand side for the Huskies? Number 14, I believe.
I believe it was.
It's a very strong tackle. Very clean tackle, but strong.
Lindsey Buscarin now into the match. Again, the clock is stopped at 9:05. It's a 2-0 lead for the Beacons here in the first half at James Conner Field in Boston, Massachusetts.
Bree Atwood just got the team together for Southern Maine and really brought them together in that timeout just to say, hey, we're not over. This isn't over. We're still in this. As they say, a 2-goal lead's the worst lead to have in a game of soccer. Takes one to get your confidence up. Once you equalize, the rest is history.
So it's Mary Jo Murphy to throw it in. She finds Buscarin. Back to Murphy, and that one's just kicked away. So Jackie Turner's now out. Georgia Bonney is into the match. First bit of action that Bonnie's seeing tonight, playing in her 9th game of the year. Buscarin. She was trying to find Golt. Now the ball swung around to the far side. And it's sent away. It's going to be Beacon's ball. Mary Jo Murphy sends one forward, but it's Atwood coming out to knock it down. Now under 8 minutes left here in the first half. Well, looking at the stats right now, both teams have 5 shots, but it's the Beacons with 4 on goal to the Huskies 2. There's another one sent right toward Spilios, and she gobbles it up. But it's interesting, though, Calvin, because it appears as though, from our vantage point, that none of the shots have really been all that dangerous for the University of Southern Maine.
Right, Joe. It's when they get into the attacking third, Southern Maine is settling for that 20, 18 yards out. That's never gonna trouble the goalkeeper. You're gonna have to. It's gonna take something spectacular there. To your point, someone's gonna have to take a risk, get baseline, cut the ball back and really put one on the plate for their center forward.
Sent into the box, but it's Buscarin to kick it away. Beg your pardon, that was Anderson.
Appeals for a penalty there, but nothing in that.
Now, why do you think that the Huskies are settling for those shots from 18 and 20?
Oh, when you're down a goal and down 2 goals and you're trying to claw back into the game, sometimes it's hard to just put your foot in the ball and make that extra pass. You work so hard defending against this Beacon teams, and when you get a glimpse at goal, it's hard not to just snatch at it and try to score a wonder goal when in reality you need to take the time, you need to be composed, take that extra second and just create a whole chance instead of these half opportunities from about 20 yards out.
We'll see if the approach changes here for the Huskies. We're under 6 minutes remaining here in the first half. It's the Beacons 2, Huskies nothing.
Well, the center back pairing for the Beacons have been brilliant, not to take anything away from them.
Which part of the team for the Beacons have you been most impressed by here in the first half? Is it the backs, the midfielders, the forwards? What have you liked the best?
I've loved the play out of the back by Mary Jo Murphy and Oliver. And the way she overlaps on this left-hand side whenever the offensive player gets the ball, it just creates problems. 2v1 against the right back for the Huskies. Every time she gets the ball, she looks to go forward immediately. And it's putting a lot of pressure on this right back, and she's done well to deal with it so far, but, the one lapse leads to a goal.
So both teams just trade possessions. It's now Huskies ball. Looking at the standings coming into tonight, it's Western Connecticut and Castleton that are 2-0. Plymouth State and UMass Boston both 1-0-1. And after that, it's all winless teams. One of those teams being the Huskies in conference play. Let's see if this sets up an opportunity for the Huskies. That's Emma Forges with it. And a pass crossed, and it will go out of play.
Better from the Huskies there.
Allie Vayu was the one to send that to the corner, really away from everybody. Sarah Lowell with the pass to Alex Allen, the senior midfielder. Now back to Bree Atwood. Under 3 minutes remaining now in the first half. Still 2-0. Beacons leading. Here's Lindsay Buscarin. She had it, or that opportunity stopped by a defender there for the Huskies. This is sent forward and caught by Atwood.
Atwood's been left out to dry for these 2 goals, but other than that, she's been very alert and on her toes tonight.
Atwood sends it forward past the center circle. Can the Beacons provide another thing to smile at as we go into halftime? It's been a match that has been dominated by them so far.
To your point, Joe, a majority of the goals in this beautiful game happen in the first 5 and last 5 of both 45 minutes. So it'll be interesting to see if the Beacons can close it out on a positive note, or maybe Southern Maine can pull one back here. Brilliant ball.
Sent forward to Vayu, and she tries to go after it alongside Danny Anderson. It's Vayu who hits the deck. And the Beacons will have it. But if you're just joining us now, Grace Oliver with the goal to get things started off of a pass from Maggie Kelly, and then a big-time assist from Allie Crawford to Morgan Palma, and it was not only an assist to make it 2-0, it was an assist that set a program record, as Allie Crawford now has the all-time record for assists in Beacons history with 32. Under a minute left here in the first half. A kick sent into the box and then kicked away by the Beacons. That was Danny Anderson doing that.
Yeah, just excellent clearance by Anderson.
And that foul's going to go against the Beacons, as you just saw a clear touch there by...
It looked like she tripped into her back there, Joe. It looked bad, but I think it was more accidental, if anything.
Clock winding down here in the first half, though. Still 2-0. Pass sent forward and right to Spilios, who gobbles it up, and she'll take her time with this.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
And she's just going to back pocket it. But a great first half for the Beacons. They're outshot overall 7 shots to 5 shots for the Huskies, but it's the Beacons who have more shots on goal, 4-3 in that advantage, and of course on the scoreboard with 2 goals to the Huskies, none. Great first half, Calvin, for the Beacons.
Near perfect first half for Amy Zombek's Beacons here. Just clinical performance from back to front, especially on this left-hand side, getting forward out of the back from Mary Jo Murphy, along with Oliver. And just once again, congratulations on the all-time leading assists for Allie Crawford for here, the Beacons program. What an amazing accomplishment here for her. And, if anything tonight, that will be something for her and her family to remember.
Number 25 has 32 assists. That is now a number and one that will continue to climb. But regardless, her name is going to be etched into the record books until that record is broken. But congrats to Allie Crawford for setting the all-time program record with now 32 career assists, and the last one coming on the goal there by Morgan Palma. We'll pause for a break. We'll come back a little bit later on with the halftime stats and then get you the second half action. It's the Beacons 2 and the Huskies nothing here on the LEC Network.
Good morning, Beacons. Good morning. Good morning, Warriors. Good morning. Everyone, welcome to the University of Massachusetts, Boston, and the new Dan Ray, Class of 70, Boston State College Varsity Training Facility. This gift from Dan will impact both current and future generation of UMass Boston student athletes. The Dan Ray Class of 70 Boston State College Varsity Training Facility is now a place where every athlete will be encouraged to push physical limits while remembering that they are part of a community that makes us all stronger together.
All of you are teammates, but now you're teammates with Boston State Warriors. And if you get a chance today to say hello to some of these guys, they can give you some great stories of their competitions on the athletic fields and on the ice rinks of years gone by. Thank you very much. I never imagined that this event would be as wonderful and as heartwarming as it is to me today. I can't tell you how much I love UMass Boston. I love Boston State. Please remember, we are with you, you are with us, we are one. Sports, as always, it's a tough time in this country where we seem so divided. Sports brings us together. You can't compete against people of different backgrounds and compete fairly and not grow to respect them.
As a former student athlete who understands all that it takes to balance academics, athletics, your personal life, I am inspired by how our Beacons live out the legacy of the power of sport. We have built a prominent athletic program with national success. Our student athletes balance competing at the highest level of Division III competition with the demands of academics, while many of them support their families and serve their communities. They thrive on doing all of these things in one of the most diverse institutions in our country. Our student athletes truly embody the meaning of this quote.
We have seen firsthand the direct impact a training facility has on us student athletes on both our physical and mental well-being. It is the hard work and sweat put into each training session in the weight room that develops us as athletes and keeps us at the level of excellence all of our alumni have set in place for us.
For decades, Dan has demonstrated an exceptional loyalty to his alma mater and has been a passionate advocate for our public university.
It's a great legacy that all of you inherit here. And I'm certain that all of you will carry on the legacy of Boston State College. Just think of us when you walk into the gym a little bit, and think of us when you have little hesitation before a game. You're carrying on a legacy that goes back decades, okay? And you, of course, will pay it forward in your careers once you leave here and go on to great success.
Your understanding of the importance of a quality training facility allows us to have the foundation for creating success, and without you, we do not have that. To you, the Boston State alumni, and the outstanding training facility that we are so fortunate to be standing in today, we cannot express our gratitude for your support, and our only hope is that we can make you proud in what you have invested so much of your time into.
On behalf of the entire UMass Boston community, and most especially our student athletes, it is my deep honor and sincere responsibility to thank you, Dan. You are truly an exemplar of the ethic of care and a role model for our student athletes.
And on behalf of everyone here today, I had the honor of cutting this ribbon. I've never held a bigger pair of scissors in my life. Never, in my opinion, conducted a more important ceremony than this, but this is for all of you.
And we welcome you back to James Cotter Field, where the Beacons have a 2-0 lead over the University of Southern Maine Huskies. Joe Weil with you. Calvin Smick alongside here on the LEC Network. Calvin, great first half for the Beacons. We talked about it at the end of the first half, how when you look at the stats, if you were just to stop it at shots, you'd think it would be one in which a match that was dominated, or at least had the advantage for the Huskies, up 7-5 in that category. But instead, it's the Beacons who actually have 4 shots on goal to the Huskies 3, and 2 of those shots went into the net.
Right, Joe, and Beacons with a slight advantage of possession, but it's really about the quality of their opportunities tonight. They're really taking that extra touch and really taking that extra risk in the attacking third, and if it pays off, it's a good opportunity, and it's led to 2 great goals and a record-breaking assist for the Beacons.
The one area where the Beacons can clean it up a little bit, the fouls, they have 5 fouls to the Huskies 3, but looking at some of the other stats, 2 corners to 1, Huskies have the advantage there. And then on the saves front, Spilios has 3, Atwood has 2, but Spilios has not been all that busy tonight, as the shots that have come close to her haven't really been ones that have been really all that dangerous.
Right, these strikes 18 to 25 yards away from goal. They're going to have to do a lot to beat Spilios from that kind of distance.
Taking a look now at the LUC scoreboard. Have a couple finals to report for you. Springfield College beats Castleton University 3-0. Rhode Island College with a 3-0 win over UMass Dartmouth. And then this just went final. It is Western Connecticut State. They end up picking up the victory in their match. And that was against Eastern Connecticut State University. So Western Connecticut State now 3-0 in conference play. So they're really setting the pace, as is Castleton, but Castleton losing. So now it's Western Connecticut State University with that top spot within the conference.
Right, with a 9-0 record overall, I would not want to play them first round. So back to your point about all the conference play really mattering every game.
And then the final thing we'll do is we'll take a look around the campus and some of the games that have gone final. Women's tennis losing today to Bridgewater State University, but men's soccer with a big 2-1 victory. That was at the University of Southern Maine, so they take care of the Huskies. Now it's the women's side trying to do it against this same program.
Right, I know the former women's coach is now the head coach for the men's side over there, and I've heard as of late they've really positive with their program, so huge win from the Beacons tonight and Jake Beverlin.
And volleyball, it's the Beacons who are in the third set, up 2-0 against the University of Southern Maine. All right, well, we're about to get things started here in the second half. It will be the Beacons to have possession to lead things off.
Joe, is there anything you're looking for in particular from either side in this half?
Well, I think for the Huskies, really putting together legitimate scoring opportunities. I think that's the key for them as they try to get back into this match. But, you know, it's just something that we saw in the first half. They were taking some long shots towards Spilios, and Spilios was just waiting there, waiting for it to really roll her way so that she could just pick it up easily. We saw it a lot.
I agree, Joe. And back to 2 of your points here. The Beacons with these sloppy fouls about 30, 40 yards outside of a box. And you know what that does instantly? It gives teams like Southern Maine a good goal-scoring chance. They're having trouble generating in the run of play, so why give them a gimme on these set pieces from 30, 40 yards out? And we see another one here.
So right on cue, the Huskies with a chance to cash in, but it stopped. And you really credited the backs in the first half, Calvin, for the job they were able to do. It's a team effort, obviously, all the way around, but especially when you're doing a nice job of stopping legitimate scoring opportunities.
Right, they've been doing a great job. They've been staying connected between the two of them, and the reason they're settling for these shots for 25 yards out is because of the pressure of the Beacon center backs here. They're not allowing them to turn. They're not allowing them space to dribble on the ball. They did an excellent job here tonight.
Forges with the pass to Berthume. Berthume leads it to the far side for Lakin Hink. Hink Sends it into the box. There's a shot, but it's well high, and it's a good field goal. So it should be a 5-3 score, but instead it's 2-0. As earlier in the game, the Beacons put one through the uprights on the same side. But in this half, it's the Beacons moving left to right, and, of course, the Huskies moving right to left.
And we could accredit it to the wind coming off the harbor, right, Joe?
Yes.
Be carrying these balls up through the
Yes,
uprights.
absolutely. Over 2 minutes gone by here in the second half. Still 2-0. Beacons leading. Maggie Kelly with the pass forward to Grace McGettrick. McGettrick crosses it, and it's headed away. No whistle going against the Beacons.
McGettrick's work rate is just absolutely incredible. She runs 70 yards down the field there at chasing the ball. Doesn't quite work out for her. Tracks back and initially fouls the play for ending the counterattack for the Huskies. We like to call that a professional foul here.
Were you the author of many professional fouls in your playing career?
Oh, many. I led my high school team in yellow cards, and I was sent forward. Accidental handball there. Looks like a blow to the head, and I think that's why the referee stopped play here.
It's McGettrick on the ground for the Beacons. Play stopped with 41-49 left here in the second half. McGettrick's still shaking that off.
It looks like Velez, though. They're running through the concussion protocol here to be safe.
I beg your pardon. It was Velez that hit the deck. And she's going to come out of the match, at least for now. Caroline Goltz now into the match for the Beacons.
Checking on for UMass Boston, number 18, Caroline Gold.
So playback underway with the double whistle and the kick. That goes toward Bree Atwood. So happy to see men's soccer pick up the victory against the University of Southern Maine. They're now 6-2 overall this season, 2-1 in conference play. McGettrick battling for the ball in the far corner with Alex Allen, and the ball goes out of play.
McGettrick causing a whole lot of problems down here on the right-hand side. She's a lot to handle here.
So it's Grace Oliver who has authored one of the goals tonight for the Beacons. She'll be kicking it from the corner. 4 minutes gone by in the second half. 2-0 Beacons. Crosses it into the box. The header misses wide. Good opportunity there for UMass Boston, but they can't cash in. Cal Pitts was the one that just missed with that header, wide left.
Just a glancing header there. I mean, what you're taught as a kid there is to head the ball back where it came from, but easier said than done on an opportunity like that.
That ball sent out of play by the Huskies. Yes, Sargent, the one kicking that away. Yeah, it's last touch by the Beacons. That's the correct call. I think they were waiting a moment to figure that out, but it looked like it hit off Maggie Kelly. Still feels like more of the same, though, Calvin, from what we saw in the first half, in the sense of the Huskies have been able to get it into the box, but nothing really doing against Spilios to make her all that concerned. And then for the Beacons, they've consistently been in that attacking third here in the second half.
Right, Joe. The solidity of the back four of the Beacons, just like that. Keeping it simple. She's allowed to turn there, but that doesn't hurt you. And then just a wonderful job tracking back by the rest of the squad.
Jackie Turner sends that one out of play, so it's going to be a throw in here for the Huskies. Kelly McNeil passes it to Cal Pitts. Sent into the circle.
Dangerous.
This one sails wide, and Atwood for a moment was thinking about picking it up. Decided against it. Just to let it roll out of play so she can get a free kick.
When in doubt, let it out. Said a great goalie friend of mine.
Couple of bodies going after it on the far side. Last touch, though, by the Beacons. Eight minutes gone by here in the second half. Beg your pardon, 7 minutes gone by in the second half. Still a 2-0 lead for UMass Boston.
Little rumbles from the crowd there, but all the ref was doing to see if advantage entailed. Once again, just great refereeing here tonight.
So first the foul goes on Mary Jo Murphy. That was about 15 seconds ago. And now a foul against Maggie Kelly.
See, Joe, it's going to be interesting to see if they go right into the box from here. This angle is very straight. It's going to make it easier for the goaltender to come out. We'll see what the verdict is here.
Free kick sent into the box and well wide. And that's been a theme tonight, Calvin. A lot of far kicks that don't end up turning into anything.
Right, but if I was the Beacons and Amy's on back here, I would preach to my team to limit these fouls, because one goal and these Husky team is back into the game.
It's been the one blemish tonight for the Beacons. They have 9 fouls to the Huskies 3. And it's a free kick here for Spilios. Meanwhile, for the Beacons, Aaliyah Velez into the match. Caroline Bolt comes out. Beg your pardon, Caroline Golt. The play-by-play has Caroline Bolt. Megan Galanti passes it to Mia Sargent, who sends it forward. Jackie Turner now with the pass to Grace McGettrick. McGettrick crosses it. It's picked up by Oliver. Stays in the box. McGettrick now going after it, and it's finally booted away. McGendrick crosses it into the box, kicked out. And it's sent toward goal. It's Atwood who gobbles it up.
McGettrick and Galanti over here on this right-hand side are really going at it here, Joe.
Oliver in the corner, crosses it, and it's caught there by Atwood.
to see Velez back on the field.
Turner into the corner. Good job by the backs right now for the Huskies.
Lovely bit of control there from Velez, just cushioning the ball down from.
Well, at the very least, the Beacons are milking clock, but a nice wall set up by the Huskies to really stop things there. And, of course, they're trying to keep this a 2-0 lead at the worst for the time being. But they can't move the ball forward, and that's been an issue over the last couple minutes. This is sent forward and then deflected as Grace Oliver goes after it. Watches it go out of play.
Looked like that went out off the flag for a throw in there.
So it's going to be a throw in for Oliver.
Immediate pressure on the ball, now letting anybody on the Huskies turn and really get any momentum going forward.
Megan Galanti passes it forward. It's Katie Lynch. Back to Galanti. 12 minutes gone by here in the second half. Still 2-0 Beacons. Both goals coming in the first half. And it's Spilios passing it to the far side. Beg your pardon, that was Atwood passing it to the far side. That one goes out of play.
Joe, how refreshing is it to see friends and family here in the stands tonight?
Well, it's a great atmosphere, great night to come out to a match. It's not too cold. All you got to do is put on a little extra layer and you're okay. This one's sent and hits off of the crossbar.
Checking on for UMass Boston, number 21, Kaylee Haynes. Coming on for number 17, Grace McGettrick.
Grace McGettrick comes out. Kaylee Haynes comes in. But it is great to see so many people here enjoying the match. Of course, the luxury that was not afforded to the players in 2020.
Yeah, just to see a stadium with seats full, players competing out on the field. It's a blessing here to be at James Cotter Field and just watch both of these teams go at it under the lights.
That's been the blessing of 2021, is that pretty much all sports are back. Yeah, 2020 you had some sports come back, some schools decided to play, some didn't. But at least this year, for the most part, we've seen just about every program get a chance to play. And the Beacons women's soccer program, one that has a lot of success under its belt, especially recently when you consider last year they won the Little East Conference tournament. Great to see them in action this year, and hopefully they'll get back and win that tournament again here in 2021.
Right, they have a really good competition as in West Connecticut here with their undefeated record. Like I said, I wouldn't want to play those guys first round, so games like this are really going to matter.
Atwood boots it away. At what point, Calvin, as a former college athlete, do you start to actually size yourself up amongst the other teams in the conference? And especially if you're not at the point where you have the best record, when do you size up the teams ahead of you?
I really do believe. I think it starts from the get-go. I do. I don't put a lot of weight in these preseason polls. Brilliant tackle there. But like I said, it's a mindset from the get-go, and you need to come in there with the mentality that you're going to be the best and you're going to beat these teams, and you could be outnumbered, but what it comes down to is lacing up the boots and putting together a good 90 minutes and really coming out here each and every day and working hard. And it's great to see these athletes having a chance to do that here in 2021.
Allie Vayu comes into the match. Sierra Berthume comes out.
But right around this time, Joe, the weather starts getting cold, and you start seeing everybody's record come together, and you think to yourself, if I'm playing around Thanksgiving, then we're doing something right.
Meanwhile, for the Beacons, Sarah Kelly comes in. Grace Oliver comes out.
All over the back of Oliver there. She does well there in the free kick.
And it's such an interesting dynamic when you think about in terms of where the Beacons are as really the defending champs of the conference. So they have the target on their back.
They do. They do. Even though it was 2019, they still are defending champions of the Little East. And an ambitious attempt on goal. Really well-struck ball there. Completely intentional.
Allie Crawford looking for a goal to add on to her historic night. She pitched in an assist for the second goal.
Why not? Have a go.
And that goal, or that assist there from Crawford in the first half to help make it 2-0, it put her atop the leaderboard all time in program history for assists. She now has 32 overall. The score has stood still since that moment. It's still 2-0 Beacons. This one's crossed and hits off of the side of the net.
And, Joe, as you can see, the game has kind of came to a lull here. And I think the next big opportunity is going to present itself. And whoever really takes it, it's going to play a big difference on how this game finishes up. I mean, if UMass Boston grabs the next goal to make it a 3-0 lead, it's going to be tough for the Huskies to get back into this one. If the Huskies can manage to grab it and cut the lead to 1, it's going to make for an exciting remainder of the game here.
Well, still the key for the Huskies is that they actually move the ball into the attacking third. It's been a lot of us looking to our right in this second half, which is where the attacking third is for the Beacons. It's not been a whole lot looking left, and if it stays that way, it's going to stay a 2-0 score or possibly get worse for the University of Southern Maine. Palma with the pass. Now it's led forward and kicked out of play. It's going to be a corner kick here for the Beacons. Allie Crawford's going to cross it.
Who else but Allie Crawford on these set pieces?
We'll see if she can get another assist under her belt.
I've really liked her delivery so far, so.
Crawford crosses it, and it sails just a little bit too high. Cal Pitts was the closest player for the Beacons, but she just could not get her head on it, as it was one that was a couple feet above her.
Yeah, just slightly overhit that one. Really put her foot through it. In-swinging ball back toward the goalkeeper, which is very difficult to handle.
And Atwood in goal. She's had to be on alert for pretty much this entire second half. First time in a while we've seen it across that center line, moving to the left for the Huskies. That was a great pass there by Palma. She snuck it around a defender. Now it's crossed. There's a shot, and it just misses.
Very unselfish by Velez to not just take the shot there and cut it back to her teammate. Unfortunately, just dragged over the bar.
So it was Velez who passed it And the shot was by Palma. She was looking for her second goal. Instead, it remains 2-0.
Palma's been dangerous in the second half, looking to snatch a brace here tonight.
Now Iveyu boots it to Forgis. Now to Porter, just outside the box, and it's stopped again. We recently had a substitution. It was Elise Porter coming into the match as Katie Lynch came out. Just a little over 24 minutes left in the match. It's still 2-0 Beacons. And if this continues to be the way things play out, it will be a commanding Beacons victory.
Right, I see if one more goal happens, Joe, I can see it being 3-4, maybe even 5-0, but Southern Maine hanging on there, keeping themselves in the game.
Both teams with 4 shots on goal. 8 shots for the Beacons now in the match, 9 for the Huskies. But that is not indicative of what the match has really been like in terms of how both teams have played one another. You would think with those stats it's an even match, but it's really not been that case tonight. And it's going to go back the Beacons' way. Joe Weil with you, Calvin Smick alongside. We appreciate you joining us on the LUC Network on a late September night here in Boston, Massachusetts.
Southern Maine substitution taking on number 26, Ella Bucci, for number 15, Kaya Gatchel.
Kaya Gatchel comes out of the match. Ella Bucci comes in. She's a freshman from Auburn, Maine. As you'd expect from the University of Southern Maine, a lot of local players.
Alabushi coming off the bench as a freshman. Now let's see if she has this much-needed spark that the Huskies are looking for tonight.
As is the case with most programs in this conference, a lot of local players that have gotten on their radar. That boot sails wide.
I think Velez saw herself on SportsCenter Top 10 as that ball was rolling back to her there.
That would have been a heck of a goal if she was somehow able to sneak that one in.
Hey, when the ball sits up to you like that, rolling back towards you, 30, 35 away from the goal, your eyes just light up, and you try to just make as sweet as contact as you can, and unfortunately there, a glancing connection there for Velez. Beacons back the other way, and out for a goal kick. Nifty skill from Velez.
Good play by Velez to get it to Crawford. Now leads it forward for Haynes.
And out for a goal kick.
They're going to say that was out of play. A little bit of a belated whistle there.
I thought it was a corner personally, but Blue has a better view from down there.
Sarah Berthume back in the match. Alex Allen coming out, so they get one of their best offensive players back into the game. Berthume comes in with 5 goals. Caroline Golt back into the match for the Beacons. Cal Pitts out. If the Beacons just continue to play this type of game, they have a victory pretty easily wrapped up. even if they don't score again, obviously you'd like to see that to just create a little bit more distance.
Yeah, just absolutely stifling play by the back four of the Beacons, or back three even, at certain times. But it starts with four, and these outside backs do a great job of getting up and down the field. And when they do lose possession, they're immediately back behind the ball, making it really difficult for Southern Maine to get anything established in the attacking third. Once again, swallowed up by the Beacons.
Booted away there by Atwood, goes right to Velez. Now it's to Crawford. Crawford finds Velez. Velez tries to put up a shot. Now Palma has it. Palma's stopped. Kick, and it's saved by Atwood. She got a hand on it.
Just an amazing save by Atwood.
Mary Jo Murphy comes in.
If Allie Crawford can just lighten her delivery here just a tad, it's going to be in a very dangerous area to come onto.
Sarah Kelly comes out of the match. This is crossed. Ball still up for grabs, and now it's going to go the other way. The shot on net that was saved by Atwood, that was from Kaylee Haynes. So still a 2-0 lead for the Beacons. Both goals coming in the first half. First goal came from Grace Oliver, the second from Morgan Palma. Oliver kicks it away, and on that second goal, Allie Crawford setting the program record for most assists by a women's soccer player in Beacons history with 32 overall. The Beacons looking for their first win in 4 matches. They have tied and lost 2 within the 3-game stretch coming into tonight amongst the games they had just previously played.
Outscoring their last opponent, Plymouth State, by 27-9, and not being able to get the win on the road there, it must feel really good for the Beacons to have a dominant performance like they are tonight.
It's going to go the other way. This match, the final one in the conference tonight. There are 4 other finals coming into, or 4 other finals right now within the conference. Keene State with a 2-1 victory over Plymouth State. Rhode Island College with a 3-0 win over UMass Dartmouth. Springfield College with a 3-0 lead over Castleton. And a 3-0 win over Castleton. And then Western Connecticut with a 3-0 win over Eastern Connecticut. So all those games have gone final. Rhode Island College beating Dartmouth, UMass Dartmouth 3-0. Keene State winning 2-1 over Plymouth State. And the other 2 finals, Springfield College winning 3-0 over Castleton. Western Connecticut 3-0 win over Eastern Connecticut. So with Plymouth State losing and Castleton losing, UMass Boston goes to 2, and if they win tonight, they go to 2-0-1. Castleton 2-1, and then Plymouth State 1-1. So UMass Boston will vaunt into second place within the conference,
which is huge coming down the stretch, Joe.
Palma, and the ball's booted away.
A name that we haven't said enough here tonight is the center back, Kelly McNeil. Absolutely no nonsense defending coming from her. Anything that's came her way, she's taken care of. Whenever she's been called to, she's answered. Just a great performance. Even LEC Defensive Player of the Week type performance from McNeil tonight.
Lakin Hink brings it across the center line. The ball was fed forward and kicked away. If you had to give the MVP to a player or a unit, who would you give it to?
I can't help but give it to the wonderful Allie Crawford here tonight. She's been playing amazing. She's always had an eye for goal and a record-breaking assist, one to always remember. I think she's been a star tonight.
Gabrielle Martin on the ground. She comes back on her feet. And the whistle going against the Beacons there.
And Kelly McNeil has also been fantastic.
What have you liked out of Kelly McNeil?
Just allowing absolutely no space for the Huskies to breathe in the attacking third. When they're on the ball, she's on their back. She's been fabulous in the air. She's played out of the back with composure. Just an all-around great performance, and it shows on the score sheet.
Danny Anderson going after it. Palma was attempting to lead it forward for Mary Jo Murphy, but it's kicked away.
So Mary Jo Murphy starts in an outside back position for the Beacons, and as the game progresses, she moves into more of an offensive role here on the wing. Dangerous back pass.
Which is a big reason why when you just look at the stats, and you might be a little confused why a back has 6 goals, that's a big reason why, is that one misses wide of the goal.
And even when she's playing in the outside back position, the way she gets forward and overlaps the offensive player just puts her in really good spots and pockets of space and allows her to get on the end of some of these crosses coming from the opposite side as well.
Grace McGettrick coming into the match, as is Grace Oliver. Morgan Palma, Kaylee Haynes out. Emma Forgis in the game now for the Huskies. Coming out is Lakin Hink.
Palma as well should take a bow. I think she's been fantastic and very lively tonight on the ball.
Yeah, not one of the stars of the team in terms of production, but she did have a really successful night. She scored one of the 2 goals. She really was all over the place, and especially in that attacking third.
Right, she looked like a live wire every time she touched the ball, Joe. When she got the ball, it looked like something was going to happen, and that's a great sign for the Beacons moving into later of the season for these players who not necessarily are always showing up on the stat sheet in the beginning games of the season, are now popping up with goals and big moments.
We're in the 78th minute of the match. 2-0 the score. Beacons leading. It's going to stay Huskies ball. The next time that the home crowd can watch the Beacons is on October 16th. That'll be against Keene State College. And then they end the regular season against Castleton University at home. But amongst those games are 6 away games.
Absolutely no nonsense tackle there.
Goes back to Atwood. Crawford tried to dish it back, and now it goes out of play. Under 10 minutes left now here in the second half. 2-0, UMass Boston leading. Alex Allen back into the match for the Huskies. So she got a little bit of rest, Calvin, and now she's back in as Elise Porter comes out. And not a huge surprise considering she's one of the captains of this University of Southern Maine team.
Just trickles out of play there.
And you see the Beacons quickly trying to move it back the other way. McGettrick to Mary Jo Murphy. Good swing pass into the circle for Crawford. And that was some nice ball movement and toward the end there.
That final pass just lets them down there, Joe. McGettrick was drifting off the back defender on that back post, but they were unable to find her on that last ball on that possession. Crawford's in.
Crawford shot into the net. And the Beacons now lead 3-0.
Absolute wonder goal here from Crawford. Just beautifully struck. Who else? Mary Jo Murphy to Allie Crawford. Adding a goal, just another memorable night for her here at James Cotter Field.
A historic night for Allie Crawford. Now has an assist that gets her to the top spot all time on the assist leaderboards in Beacon history. And now she adds a goal alongside it.
She patiently waited for that ball to come out of the air, Joe, and just with all the technique, she just brilliantly strikes it into the lower corner. And the light just continues to shine here in Beaconville for Allie Crawford here tonight.
And fair to say, I think at this point of the match, a game breaker as well. Coming back from a 3-goal deficit, especially with the way the game has played out, going to be very difficult for the University of Southern Maine.
Right, and it's just the way the play has been going here tonight, Joe. You could feel it coming. This game wasn't going to end 2-0 here. The Beacons have been on full attack mode, and they happen to take advantage of that opportunity with Crawford.
So under 8 minutes left here in the second half as the Beacons very close to improving to 6-2-2 overall this season and then 2-0-1 in conference action. But I think the feat that just continues to get even more impressive is that unbeaten streak here at James Cotter Field, which if they can wrap up a victory or if this ends in a tie, improves to 20 consecutive matches without losing.
What an amazing home accomplishment here. It must, give the players great confidence coming in playing here at home. And I know I keep saying it, Joe, but the seeding for this tournament is going to matter because the Beacons are going to want a home game to start the tournament.
Isa Andrade comes in as Allie Crawford comes out. She got a nice hand from the crowd after what she's been able to do tonight.
Take a bow, Allie Crawford.
It's well deserved. So Grace Oliver with the corner kick, and the Beacons now have a chance to add on to this lead. Already up 3-0. So Morgan Palma back in the match. Mary Jo Murphy comes out. She was credited with an assist for that goal for Crawford. Crossed into the box and headed out of play. We'll see who last touched it. And they're going to say it's the Beacons. And that'll stop play as there was a collision on the field.
Hard to see what happened there, Joe, and I'm wondering which direction this is going to go. The Beacons are retreating back defensively, so it looks like it'll go against them here.
Clock stops at 5:51. Now it's going again. This is a match you have to figure Amy Zombek is going to be very happy with once it comes to an end. we've talked about it. The lone blemish for the Beacons has just been the fouls tonight.
Right, and that's easy to cut out. I think they've been better in the second half with the fouls, and I'm sure Coach Zombek was preaching that at halftime to, not give a team that can generate their own chances a free shot at goal.
Looking at the stats right now, 12 shots for the Beacons, 10 for the Huskies, 7 shots on goal for UMass Boston now. 3 of those have been converted into goals. The Huskies have 4 shots on goal. The Beacons with 5 corner kicks to the Huskies 2. But that fouls category, as we mentioned, the lone blemish tonight for the Beacons, really, with the 11 fouls. And then the Huskies have 6.
I think it's been a complete performance from the Beacons tonight, all around, from back to front, with an accolade and a night to remember for Allie Crawford on top of just an overall fantastic performance from every member of this Beacon squad who's stepped on the field tonight.
4.5 minutes left in the match. And what's been great is that the scoring has been very nicely distributed by the Beacons. 3 separate players with a goal, too. That's a sign of a well-balanced offense.
Right, and it's been people that haven't normally been on the score sheet as well, which is a really bright sign moving forward.
McGettrick with the pass to Turner. Turner finds Velez. Now to Oliver. Oliver's shot is saved. Ball still up for grabs. But a whistle in the box. So it's going to be a penalty kick for the Beacons.
Clear penalty. She got there first, and the goalie got there second. And if you're a goalie, you don't want to get there second.
So it's going to be Danny Anderson with the kick. Let's see if she can make it 4-0. The kick from Anderson. It finds the back of the net, and it's now a 4-0 lead for the Beacons.
Anderson thumps the ball into the lower corner. Nothing the goalie could do about it. Well-taken kick by the experienced center back.
Bree Atwood entered this match having allowed 5 goals on the season. That's in 8 games, and she's given up 4 tonight.
And you got to feel for her because they're really not goals that she let in. The first 2 in the first half, there's nothing she could do about it. The Allie Crawford wonder goal from the volley, nothing she could do about it. And let's be honest here, goalies aren't expected to save that penalty kick. 12 yards out, all the pressure's on the shooter, and it was well executed by the Beacons here. But I think for being down 4 here, I think she's had a pretty good night.
Well, she's been busy all night too. It's been a very stressful night for her because it seems as though the Beacons, for I would have to say, at least 3/5 to 2/3 of the match have been somewhere around that attacking third or in it.
Right, and the Beacons, with 9 shots on goal out of 14, and every shot having the velocity and the intent to really work her. And I think she's done well to deal with it. And I think the quality of the Beacons' chances have been the highlight here. They're not settling for these 25-yard shots away from goal. They're not settling for these long balls over the top. They're really taking it to the back 4 here and creating some really positive opportunities.
And again, if you're the coaching staff of the Beacons, you can't help but smile at what you've been able to see tonight. Great execution on that end. And for Maria Spilios on the other side, it's not as if she's had a hard night at all. There have been some shots on net. There have been shots in general made by the Huskies. But if we're going to be frank about it, not a lot of those, and really maybe even any of them, have been dangerous shots.
No, I think she's been troubled maybe once tonight here, and real easy night in goal for her. But when called upon, she's answered the door. So hats off to someone who stays alert and plays their role in a team victory.
There's no doubt about it. Spilios has been one of the best players on the team. And, again, tonight, if it's easy opportunities, it's easy opportunities. She's still taking care of business in goal.
Right, and I was surprised here, Joe, to see not surprised, but delighted to see the Beacons here break through that 2-0 threshold, because it looked like they could have saw the game out, easily won by 2 goals, but instead they pushed forward, they continued to play well, and now they found 3, now they found 4, and I wouldn't be surprised if there was a couple more minutes on the clock here and we had stoppage time in college soccer, that they would get another one here tonight.
Instead, it's just a minute 10 and counting left here in the second half. A commanding night overall for the Beacons as they lead by a score of 4-0. Now it's 1 minute remaining in the match. Got a chance to hear our buddy Seth Thorensky.
Seth, great guy. Arsenal fan.
Is that what makes him a great guy?
That it does. It proves that he has what it takes to be there at the best and stick it out through the worst.
If Seth listens to it, I just want to let him know. I think there's more than that makes him a great guy. But I'll let you give him that reason.
Well, I mean, it must have to do with his extremely charismatic personality and friendly demeanor as well. But the Arsenal fan definitely helps.
What a night for the Beacons. 4 separate players score. And one of their best players and one of their most storied players in Allie Crawford picking up a historic assist to put her atop the leaderboard all time in UMass Boston Beacons history. And the best part about it, Calvin, is it's part of a 4-0 victory for the University of Southern Maine. What a night.
What a night to remember here for the Beacons, extending their their home unbeaten streak to 20 games. Allie Crawford breaking the record. A lot of people getting off the mark for their first goal of the season. Just a lot of positives to look at if you were a Beacon here tonight.
Four separate players scoring for the Beacons. It was 2 in the first half, 2 in the second half. The first goal coming from Grace Oliver. Then it was Morgan Palma. That was a part of the historic assist for Allie Crawford. And then in the second half, it came in the last 10 minutes, both goals. It was the first Allie Crawford scoring to make it 3-0, and then the penalty kick by Danny Anderson that found the back of the net to make it 4-0. But again, it was a almost perfect night for UMass Boston, which is hard to do in collegiate soccer, especially when you're playing a conference opponent, so somebody around the same talent level. But the Beacons really were able to do that. As we take a look now at the final stats in this match, and what amongst the stats stands out to you the most? Is it that shots on goal?
It has to be the shots on goal for me. Every opportunity here for the Beacons had real intent, and you felt like they were going to find the back of the net with almost every shot they took here tonight.
Yeah, amongst all the stats, UMass Boston led on shots on goal, also shots 14-10. They also had more corners, 5-2. They did have more fouls than the Huskies, 11-7 in that mark, but overall, again, just a dominant night for UMass Boston, and one that Amy Zombeck has to be happy about when it comes to reviewing this game, and then obviously moving forward from it, just knowing that the team was able to play as well as they did, and the unbeaten streak goes to 20 matches here at home. Final thoughts, Calvin?
Just an historic night for the Beacons. Great to see them get off the mark and get the good mojo moving forward into conference play.
Well, it's great to be with you again. We're 2-0 together, so hopefully we get a chance to do some more matches together. And it was, again, a lot of fun to do this game with you.
Joe, likewise. I had a blast, and it's really great to just be here tonight.
Well, that'll do it for tonight's broadcast. Once again, the final here from James Cotter Field, UMass Boston 4, the University of Southern Maine 0. For our entire broadcast.